Hello guys, I'm Aveline. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So today we are back in Oasis Springs. It's actually been a while since I've built here, I think. I tend to kind of sway away from this world simply because it's so dry. And there's something about the lighting as well that I'm not really a fan of, but a lot of you guys really wanted to see an astronaut's tiny home, so I sat down and I thought, what better world to do this in than Oasis Springs? So we're building in Oasis Springs today for a change. I'm probably not going back here for a while, but today I'm doing it for you guys, okay? I mean, it could also have been in 6 a.m., but I don't want to go there, so I decided to stick to one of the one of the non-hidden worlds, I suppose. I don't know. What other worlds would you think an astronaut would live in other than Oasis Springs? Like, where do you think a house like this would fit in other than Oasis Springs? I kind of want to know, so let me know in the comments. But this house is built on I think it's a 20 by 15. It is either for one sim or two. I kind of just imagine one sim to live here, but they do have extra dining chairs, so they can have friends over or, live more than one people in the house or more than one sim. And they do have a rocket ship on the outside, as you might have seen in the thumbnail. I actually at first really wanted the rocket ship to be on top of the house, but I could not make it fit because it's still it's still a tiny house, technically. Technically it's not, but it's still... We're going to get into that because if you have tiny living, you have the tile counter, and every time I build a tiny house, I complain about the tile counter counting tiles on the exterior. I'm fully aware that I do this, but it's really annoying me, so I have to mention it every time. And this build is one of those times where if the exterior tiles didn't count, it would still be considered a tiny home. So unfortunately, because the exterior tiles count, because of the rooftop especially, or specifically, it doesn't count as a tiny house, so you won't be getting the benefits of a tiny house, but it's still the same size because outside tiles don't count, like they don't add to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to phrase it right now, but you know what I mean, so I'm just gonna move on to the next thing. I think the only thing that is on the rooftop, and actually I could have probably cheated the rooftop tiles if I hadn't used platforms up there, but I really wanted there to be a couple of different levels up there, so like 2. So yeah, I ended up using rooftops up there. It's just for like aesthetic purposes, I suppose, which is super annoying, but like, anyways, I thought it looked cool, so I had to go for it. If it really bothers you though, if you really want the tiny house benefits, what you can do is delete the platforms on the rooftop. So just make sure that you take down the stuff that I've put up there, which is basically a couple of solar panels and also a chess table, because as far as I know, astronauts need logic skill, but I could be misremembering that. That and also rocket science, right? I'm assuming they need rocket science. I don't know why, but also that was sarcasm. I know why. Yeah, I just want to make sure that, okay, moving on still. So what you can do is delete the platforms after you've removed a couple of items, or just move them to the ground floor or something like that. Put them in the household inventory. I don't know. And then just delete the platforms. You'll probably lose the half walls up there, but just place them down again, except don't place a half wall right where the ladder is, because that'll complete the room and it'll count as tiles again. So you can do that if you want to. Also, if you place a half wall there, your sim will not be able to use the ladder. I feel like a lot of people forgot about that when ladders were released, like right after ladders were released for the game. I feel like a lot of people didn't notice that you accidentally placed half walls behind the ladder. So I'm just gonna say it now in case some of you guys are still dealing with that issue. I don't know. Could be. I have no idea, so just so you know, remember not to place a half wall where the ladder is. Also, at some point during this house, I thought that it would be cool. It's actually because I wanted to spare a tile on the exterior, because as you can see, the bottom floor is not on the ground floor. It's actually one tile up, or one like step up, if that makes sense. So by placing down a door right here, I had to place another platform to step onto so that your sim will be able to step down. At least I think I do. Also, it just looks better that way. So I thought instead of doing that, I would spare the tile by doing like duo levels on the ground floor, but then for some reason the ladder was glitching through the floor and I could not fix it by like in any way. It was not working out at all. So that bothered me a little bit, but you know, we all experience glitches and build problems and stuff like that. Every time we build, the game is not perfect. It's never going to be. Let's just be realistic. There's always glitches with every kind, like every game that you play, whether it is on computer or your phone or a Switch or PlayStation or whatever, there's always going to be glitches. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. As a perfectionist, I hate to admit that, but at least I'm realistic about it. So also I just remembered I forgot to finish the whole like putting a rocket ship on the top of the house, which I thought was a really cool idea to begin with, but then I realized that the rocket ships are actually really huge, so it wasn't working out at all because it's a tiny house still. Even though it doesn't count with the... We've been through that already. We don't have to go into that again. But I really thought it would be cool for a second to put a rocket ship on the top of the house because, like, I don't know how that works in practice, but... you know, it would look cool, so I don't think the rest of the house would do good after the rocket ship takes off, but that's another story. It's not going to happen anyway, so we don't have to worry about that. It's just going to take off from the ground. It's all good. Also, I actually found one of the other rocket ships. The one that I placed down here next to the house is now the one that I ended up going with because I thought there was only one rocket ship, but I don't know if I used any cheats or if I just haven't really looked into the rocket ships before. There's a retro one and also another one that is more white instead of gray. I ended up going with that one because it actually fit, like it suited the house's color perfectly. It was basically the same color scheme, so I was like, yep, we're going with you. But I thought there was only one rocket ship, and there's more than one. And I'm pretty sure the others are also base games, so this just shows how little I actually, like, I don't know all the items in the game, which I would also be surprised if I did because there's quite a lot of world objects, so I'm completely okay with not knowing every single item in the game. Also, if you're wondering why I'm using Journey to Batu or the pack that shall not be named, even though I just named it, let's just forget that I just did that. If I was ever to use those items, like the spacey items, it would be for an astronaut, right? Like, clearly they love space. They work with space, so clearly they have to love space. So I figured it would be cool if they were a Star Wars fan too, right? So they have a lot of like merch, it's not merch, collectibles? Yes, collectibles. Just around the house, both here in the little, well, in the office area on the left side or study, whatever you want to call that. I also went with a super cool computer, by the way. I don't think I've ever used that one. It looks fancy as heck, and that's awesome. And then I also put some in the living room area and also a few in the bedroom. So they just have like a lot of Star Wars collectibles, but you know, if that's what you want to spend your money on, go you. Spend your money on what makes you happy is what I tell myself every day or month or whatever. So I end up buying a lot of plants, but that's just me, and it feels like it's never enough. Like I always need more plants. I am so sorry. I just punched the microphone. I feel like I just punched you guys and I don't like it, so I'm really sorry about that. I hope none of you felt anything, but that just happened. Also, speaking of apartment and plants and stuff, I am planning on just to like sway away from the build a little bit. I know that some of you guys prefer when I talk about the build, but I also know that some of you guys prefer when I don't. For some odd reason, I don't know. A lot of guys or a lot of people, actually myself included, I like to listen to rambles instead of talk about the build. Whatever. So just to like quickly touch on it, I am actually planning on starting like a lifestyle, real life kind of channel as well. So I feel like I might have mentioned this once before, like last month, probably, something like that. So I'm just planning on like finishing the last decorations around my apartment, and then I'm gonna start out with an apartment tour, which I am super excited about, although also really nervous. Also, I'm starting another channel, which is insane because I already have like three. I don't know. I don't have a life, but I suppose you're not supposed to have a life during a pandemic anyways. So even though I did meet up with two friends Sunday, but we got tested and it's all good. We don't need to get into that again. So yeah, that's happening. For those of you who are interested, I'll leave a link on the community tab at some point. I'll probably mention it in a video at some point as well. I just don't want to completely link to it and stuff before there are any videos up. I feel like that would be pointless. So and kind of boring, because why would you be interested in a channel that doesn't have any videos on it? So I'm just gonna wait a little bit, but it is in the works, just so you guys know. Also, this little situation right here that I'm working on right now, it is not functional whatsoever, but I figured it was okay to do it like this anyways, because your sim is not gonna sit up here anyways. Like, there's no bookcase or any reason for your sim to sit here whatsoever. I just thought it would be cool for them to have like something decorative like this in the windowsill. So I ended up putting some ottomans together and sized down the ones from City Living. So it kind of looks like there are books standing underneath the wooden ones. And I took some other ottomans and sized them down. So I put pillows on top as well. And then I took some chairs, I think 2 different chairs, and sized those down and used them as like a backrest kind of situation, and some pillows and stuff. It was quite fun to do that. I feel like it's been a while since I've actually sat down and put items together and just thought, you know what? It's okay if it doesn't work. It's okay if it's not functional for gameplay. It doesn't have to be functional every single time. Sometimes it just has to look pretty. So there's no purpose of that other than decor. But I hope that's okay with you guys, because your sim would not be sitting up here anyways, just staring into the air, staring into the room. There's not much to look at up here either. Like, there's no TV, no bookcase, nothing like that. So I hope that's okay with you guys. Also, we're not even close to the end of this video. Why are you talking about? That's fine. If there are any other careers in The Sims that you want me to build a house for, let me know in the comment section. I think I'm just gonna go off of the ones that you guys suggest, because sometimes I'm like really indecisive, so I can sit here for hours and just try to figure out what house to do next. It's probably one of the reasons I've been uploading less lately. It's just because I have so many things I want to do, so many houses I want to take inspiration from on my Pinterest, but I can't make up my mind which ones I want to do first. So that's an issue. So let me know if you have any like career that you really truly is very passionate about. Let me know, because I'll do a house for that one. I think this one was the most liked one on the last career video, or the last career tiny house video, I suppose. So I just kind of went for it. I think at least this was the most liked one. So I could be wrong, because I am human, I make mistakes, but I think it was. So let me know. And yeah, hopefully in the future we can get some more careers and stuff. It would be super fun to do like a build for a completely new career. Imagine if farming ever comes out and we get a farmer career, even though I'm not sure how that would work. I feel like that would probably work as one of the freelance ones, so I'm not sure if I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably just do like a major farm and it won't be a tiny house. A tiny farm? Is that a possibility? Can you do that? I don't, whatever. We'll see. At some point, we'll see. Also, am I the only one who is kind of expecting them to announce a game pack here in February? Now it's too late, because I think after trailers come out, it's 2 weeks before, like, the pack will be released 2 weeks after. So if they announced a trailer next Tuesday, or if they announced a trailer Monday and the trailer came out Tuesday, the pack would be out in the first week of March. And I was kind of like, I thought there'd be a game pack out here in February, because that's been the pattern for the last couple of years with both Jungle Adventure, but also Strangerville, and I suppose another one that I forgot because I don't remember very well right now, but that's fine. So I was kind of, yeah, just expecting that to happen, but it didn't, and now I'm confused. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Were you expecting a pack as well? Because I definitely, like, most definitely was. I don't think I had any theme in mind whatsoever, just nothing occult. So, because we just had Star Wars, but also, what did we have? I feel like we had something else. Not saying that Star Wars is a cult, but it's different. So I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm just gonna group that with that bunch, you know? But I don't know, I'm kind of taking it back, and that sucks because I was really hoping for another game pack, but I don't know. Let me know if you guys were expecting the same thing. Also, now we are at the end of the video, so I'm just gonna wrap up the voiceover now. If you haven't joined my Discord server already, you most definitely should. There is an invitation link to that at the top of the description, and yeah, other than that, if you guys like this house, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And you can find the tray files on my Patreon, which is linked both in a pinned comment, but also in the description. And other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Yeah, I'm falling in love. Kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you do.